are on the journey to talk about the gene keys number 33. That is also my pearl sphere. And we know in the golden path, every sphere has this information for us to reflect what happened to our life journey. The 33 is one of the human trials gene keys. I mentioned about there are 12 and 33 and 56. They are all represent a different combination of the stop codon in our DNA. That when the machinery try to create a gene product and on the DNA and they see this code, those three codes, UAG, UAA, and UGA, then they will stop doing the translation and they will just stop and drop all these proteins. So what that means in our life, because everything is connected, everything we see in our body inside of the atom, it should be the same way go up to the universe, because that is the true science. If that science can only apply to certain situation, that is just the observation. With our limited mind, sometimes we are just only using our judgments, using our learned knowledge to label things, to say, this is not right, this is not scientific, this is make me feel uncomfortable, must be the wrong thing. Because our mind is fully conditioned. I finally admit, yes, I'm fully conditioned because we cannot get out. From the time we are in that little fertilized egg, we start to have certain program to differentiate different cells and to create organs, right? Then when we come out the world, then we dealing with the environmental triggers, our culture, our language, and the imprinting process. This is all part of the conditioning. So it's not wrong. We need to adapt to ourselves through the natural way. But when we get into a certain time, the conditioning become outdated. We live in the past, and those experiences might not really reflect what is going on now. And that is the time we need to start to have this called mindfulness. So mindfulness is really the solution for this gene key 33, the forgetting. A lot of people say, kill the ego. I mean, like, why? Right? Ego is part of us. We cannot really live without an ego. Ego is not a bad thing. It's just we need to be fully aware and become mindful and how to using our system, the devices, the five senses, and also our consciousness, and all the things we are giving as amazing human being, right? If we can become coherent with all the abilities we have, that is the mindfulness, right? We become fully alert. We understand how our body works, how our mind created, and how our emotion like a wave. We don't need to kill the shadow because shadow is us. The light is a shadow us. It's like a trinity. If we don't have us, there's no shadow, there's no light, there's no existence. But as long as we exist, we have the matter, we will create a shadow. So it's just part of an awareness process. So the three dilemma I share based on the gene key number 33, forgetting. The first one is missing out the purpose in life. We come in here more like aimless ants. We just want to get things done, but we don't know why. And just follow everybody doing that, get married, have a kids, and have a career and die. And there's like, that is just the norm. But really, our hearts and our soul will give us reminder, hey, back to the track. You are off the track too far, back to it. That's how our body will feel very uncomfortable, have some pains, or maybe we have the shocking events in your life, some losses, some accidents. You finally begin to aware a lot of things you do in the past is just preparing you to get ready for your mission. So at that time, then you start to transform yourself. Right? So that is the first dilemma. If we keep forgetting and treat the pains and all this losses as something that's a bad thing, so you want to kill them, Our loving source will give you more until you finally accept that. The second one is talk about what a waste. Right? If we think there's a problem we need to solve, there is something I need to eliminate, there's something I want to kill, then you spend all the energy to block that thing. We need to experience, we need to work on those challenges. Those are the disguised grace. If we not recognize that, we always block it away. And no wonder we'll have more energy to spend on to block more away, because the universe will send you more and more and more until you wake up, until you remember. And that number 3 is we using our mind to try to solve problem. I say, oh, I can do it. I can control it. I just learn a new skill. I can using my willpower to transform everything around me. At the time, you might feel like you just cannot do it, and you lost the trust about yourself. You see, that's how we exhaust our mind, try to figure out why and how I can do it to solve the problem. But in the reality, we don't need to solve the problem. We need to go through the problems and using our heart to lead and let our mind to be just on the side. Sometimes we listen to our conditioned mind, then we really losing the point. Of course, in my opinions, you don't need to believe me. You don't need to follow me around. That doesn't matter. I'm going to share my insights based on my understanding of human design system and also gene keys, and also the modern technology, the quantum physics, because they all point to the same wisdom our Buddha and our ancestor or the sage has shared like 2,500 years ago. We are in the middle between the heaven and earth. We have a special missions to create a great energy around the globe. This life cycle around based on the ancient wisdom, every 120,000 years, we will have a cycle. So with that, we are almost in the end of this cycle. If we can finally wake up, follow the design, and understand we are not in the control of the universe and arrogance and all the technology, but then we are in control of ourselves, our attitude, our epigenetic influences, because that is related to our emotions, that relate to our thoughts, that relate to our action taking every day. That is the control part, not to control others, not to control the weather, not to control the climate change. This is not our business. Our business is really just to find out who we are and how to using our body, our consciousness the right way. So we can go home because we have the mission coming. And once we complete it, we can have this completed report cards, then we can go back, right? When we go back, who knows, maybe have a more fun, or we can volunteer to come down again, whichever we choose. Anyway, so we start to slow down our life and begin to practice mindfulness, begin to accept our amazing self, then everything becomes much easier. We don't really see suffering as a suffering anymore. It's the opportunity. It's really the love sent by our source. If we don't have a challenges, we don't have the new skills. Think about that way, right? So shadow and the lights is always being here to protect us. So we can learn the right skill, eventually share the lights with others if they need it from us. But we don't need to change others, right? We just need to focus on get ourselves aligned. I just want to be fully aware you are in control, but not control others. You are in control in your attitude, your environment, your thought and emotions. So for the solution, I mentioned it so many times, actually just the 3 words. This is my core teaching: the awareness, attention, and acceptance. Everything, once you're aware, you can accept. Then once you're aware, you have this high alertness, and then you definitely can pay higher attention to whatever you're doing now. And this whole 3 thing will be all under this mindfulness umbrella. Because for the shadow, the forgetting on the gene key 33, the gift frequency is mindfulness. The mindfulness really can give us a space. So mindfulness is not the same as mindfulness. You are mindful, that means you are full of the stuff, full of the conditioned knowledge, full of your emotional thoughts. Then that is not mindfulness. The mindfulness is really living in the moments. So you are fully aware why you have these triggers, why you have this emotion waves, and why I'm just feel I'm nobody, right? Once you're aware, that is just our illusion. Because we're living in this called Maya, right? Maya is the world of illusion. That means this world is really based on our view. If someone see the same thing, but they will have a different experience, that's because our filter, our neocortex in the ajna center, they really create a particular filter for us. So then we can react to a different way than complete our mission. Right? So the neocortex, the conditioned mind, is not a bad thing at all. It's for us to equip so we can really finish our mission here. So everybody will see things differently, but we need to honor our view and honor others' views because they are all unique. That's the purpose for us become the fractal reality. So we see things differently. But when we start sharing, we start to combine and respect others' view, then the whole view start to make more sense. We're talking about the dilemma, we're missing out, we didn't finish our job, we come home and so, whoa, job's not done, back down there. Or, we can become aware and then we can start to do our mission. Then we can have a report card and go back there. Then who knows the fun after that. That is the second dilemma, waste energy and resources. The third one is really exhaust our mind and you are deep in this emotional wave, right? But it's the purpose for us to feel that way, to be honest, because when you get into that hopeless moments and you have nothing to do, I have so many times with that situation, then you feel peace. Actually, because you have nothing to do, you stop all the nonsense. So you reserve your energy, right? Because you feel hopeless, you surrender, you accept. Then in that moment, you just, wow, so peaceful. There's a lot of energy there too. I got 5 experience like that. So I totally trust this is not me. This is everybody as a human being can do it. It's just we need to allow it. And I didn't allow because I have a very strong mind. But but with that shocking, because all the 5 times is all accidents. And I feel I'm protected. From that trust, from that emotion connection, I start to understand it's me the problem to try to solve the whole thing and try to get better and try to be happy. No, it's not trying. I just need to live through it. And I am happiness. I am peace. I am love. Because when we let the mind get loose and everything, it just show up. So for me to share that solutions, I think, again, it's just awareness, attention, and acceptance. Is simple, very, very simple. It's not like you're behind. No, we all have our own timing. The spiritual journey never has a goal. Spiritual journey is just a process. You always have this leap. You always have the little leaps, that small wins from the tiny habit. Then you actually find out that is the whole purpose for us to be here. So for the solutions, other than this awareness, acceptance, and attention, I would like to give you 2 tiny habits, embracing our 64 shadows with our tiny habits, the small wins. So the first one I would like to suggest for the mindfulness. Mindfulness is not mindful. It's not a solution. It's not a strategy. It's not knowledge. Mindfulness is more like living in the present, allowing our body to tell the truth, allowing the energy to flow through or the emotion to flow through us, because those things are coming and going. Hey, we're living in the world of illusion, right? Everything's coming and going. Nothing is solid. But the one thing truth is like the change is the constant. So the first tiny habit is the mindfulness. The recipe go like that. While I listen to a piece of great music, I pay close attention to the silence moment between the notes. Then I celebrate with a superhero pose. What is this happening is because the sound and silence need to be together. Again, the shadow and the light, the polarity, right? We are in the duality. So when we pay attention to the silence of the music, then actually you listen to the whole piece. Most of us only listen to the sounds. Oh, that's fun. But you think about if you don't have a pauses, you don't have a silent moment between notes, that is not a great piece of music. So that's for your mindfulness. Be alert, pay attention, and accept everything is duality. You have yin and yang, you have opposites. You always have a polarity, but you are above this polarity. You are not the polarity. But we live in the polarity. We think we are. We are a good person. We are a bad person. Or he's good. He's bad, right? We start to label ourselves, but no, we don't need to do that. All right. So the second tiny habit recipe is for non-interference, right? We all want to have our own opinion. Stop. I don't like it. Oh, change that color. That is not right. Just on and on and on. We want to interfere. We can practice a little tiny habit to stop that, or at least pay attention, become mindful. Okay. After I finish going potty and ready to flush, I will sing to myself, gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Right? You don't interfere the water with your whatever going through the drain. And we can do the same thing with everything through from our life, right? Just like a cloud. Do you want to catch the cloud, change the color, make it different way or different shape? You just allow, right? Let me repeat that whole recipe again. After I finish going potty and ready to flush, I will sing to myself, gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Then you are just smile. Let it go. We are limitless. The energy never lost in this enclosed environment. And we are the energy. Just remember that. Thank you. Have a wonderful Wednesday.